Alright, welcome back to Taco Bowler Gaming. My name is Taco Bowler. We are continuing our tutorial for Europa Universalis 4. And we're going to talk today about ideas. Now, every nation has a group of national ideas. We can see on the Ideas tab at the top. And some traditions. So, the Ottoman traditions give us plus 5% discipline. And tolerance of heathens is plus 3%. The final thing here is an Ottoman Ambition. Every nation gets an ambition. For us, it is 33% land force limit modifier, which is part of why the Ottomans are so crazy every single game. And then you have a set of ideas. You have to unlock all of these ideas in order to get your ambition. For each nation, they are different. But for the Ottomans, we have core creation costs and max promoted cultures, manpower recovery speed, cavalry combatability, cost of reducing war exhaustion, tax modifier, trade efficiency, and ship costs. You unlock each of these ideas by taking 3 of these ideas. As you get technology and administrative technology, you start to unlock idea groups. At level 5, you will get one, at level 7, at level 10, at level 14, at level 18, at level 22, at level 26, and at level 29, you will get idea groups. There are several different idea groups that you can pick from. And so here are the list of the ones I have not taken. Here are the 4 that are taken. And so when you get to tech level 18, you will just pick an idea group, and then you can begin to unlock those ideas. If you have DLC, you can actually change them out. It looks like if you're in vanilla, you better be happy with what you have because you're stuck with it. We will go over this. I will load up a different game, different nations, so that we have them all present, and we'll go over which ones are there. But for now, I'm going to talk about taking ideas. Each idea costs 400 by default. There are ways that you can decrease this. One important way would be humanist ideas. Idea costs minus 10. Also, there's some other things that would do that, but for the most part, that's the typical way. And so each idea then goes there. Each idea gives you a benefit. So for instance, in humanist ideas, the first idea was religious unity, and then national unrest goes down, and then tolerance of heretics goes up, years of separatism goes down, max promoted cultures, improved relations plus 30, and then tolerance of heathens. Once you take all 7 of these, then just like you had a national ambition, you get a idea group ambition, which for humanists is idea costs of minus 10. For instance, in trade, we have a bunch of things that help with trade efficiency, merchants, trade steering, caravan power, and then another merchant. So every idea group has that. And so let's go ahead and give us some admin power to, well, let's just give us a bunch of admin power. 700. Let's just do that. So we can take an idea group, and then we'll take another one. We'll take another one. Right, and so all the way over to here, you have that go up. That's the basic idea of an idea group that you have. You earn your power, and you can spend your power over here. I'll be back with a nation that has them all ready to go. Okay, so we're back with the Ottomans, but this time in the 1444 start date, and you can see that I have none of these chosen, and you can also see that the ambition of force limit modifier is not present because I haven't achieved all of these. You have to take 21 ideas, roughly the first 3 groups. So let's say we get to admin tech level 5. Fantastic. I can pick my first idea group. What idea groups do I want to pick? Most of these are considered to be at least acceptable picks. The general exception to that is naval and maritime, for sure, are not considered to be good at all by pretty much anybody. I'm actually one that considers maritime at one of the highest I think I've seen for most people because of this one idea here of naval force limit plus 50%, but exploration gets naval force limit plus 25% when you're done with it. That's probably enough there, and nothing else matters. So I would not take naval, I would not take maritime. Pretty much any of the other ones have a time and a place. Something that I like to do is I like to look at my national ideas and say, what can kind of piggyback off of that, right? What can help to double down on some of this stuff? I actually have an Ottoman game going, and so, core creation cost of minus 20%. Let's look and see, is there one that has a core creation cost reduction? Actually, yes. Administrative Ideas has a core creation cost of minus 25%. That would stack, I believe. So if I took Administrative Ideas, then every core would cost 45% less than it should. Right? So these are things that I kind of look for. What can I double down and really, make the country an expert at? Manpower recovery speed, force limit. Over here in our ambition, not going to be a bad idea to take quantity because they have manpower recovery speed and force limit. In fact, Ottomans take quantity a lot, right? You can really field a massive army and just overwhelm everybody. So that's the thing I really try and look for. The other thing would be to check your goals, right? If you're going for an achievement that requires you to convert something, then you probably want to take religious ideas, right? In my first campaign, I was playing as Bohemia. I knew I wasn't going to be able to expand very far, so I took innovative ideas because I knew that would help me develop my provinces and get stronger that way. So kind of a general thinking is you want to look at, okay, what are my goals? What are my national ideas? What can help me? The Ottomans also have discipline in their national ideas. So taking something that gives you discipline, which is offensive, gives you a discipline here, and quality gives you discipline in the additional benefit. That might be something to do as well. So what works well with my national ideas and well with my goals? If I'm playing Spain, if you're playing anything over here, Portugal or Castile, you're probably going to want to take exploration first. If you're playing as France, you're going to want to take exploration actually a little bit later to the colonial range, which you can look at the colonial colonization video to figure out more on that. England, same kind of deal. Unless you can try and take Iceland, you're just not going to reach any colonies, any real benefit to that until a little bit later on. But exploration ideas is there. If you're colonizing, taking that one pretty quickly, good idea. If you're not, taking some of the other ones are a good idea. The other thing to consider is that each one of these gives a policy. So you have the Nautical Education Act if you take innovative and naval. If you take innovative and quantity, you get garrison system. And each one of those costs, well, there's one free per unit, but after that they cost 1 power, and you can have up to 3 per power. That's in the decisions tab here. So as you pick idea groups, these will appear. And once you complete the idea group, then you can click on the thing, and you will get the benefit of it. And if you can afford to pay the power penalty, then you will be able to fill up 9 additional benefits, and these can be really, really, really powerful stuff. For instance, religious ideas, You have religious and diplomatic down in the middle. It's policy of culturated delay. That gives you plus 20 religious unity. And then if you pair that with offensive ideas as well, offensive is 2 up from that. The Anti-Heresy Act gives you another plus 20 religious unity. And also religious ideas helps you convert. So if you have basically 140% religious unity, you have virtually no rebels. These can be really, really powerful stuff. But that's the kind of thing that I tend to focus on. The other thing is that technology comes very, very quickly. So I don't think that it shows you the age, but let's go ahead and just give myself a bunch of admin power, enough to take the idea. Just to show you, let's go ahead of time. 90 years ahead of time. So we're 9 years ahead of time to take this administrative power, which by the time you take it, it's going to be only like 5 years ahead of time. In later technologies, this is more like 15 to 16 years between them. In the early game, technology goes very, very quickly. So, an idea group at 5, an idea group at 7, and an idea group at 10. Generally speaking, you might not be done with the idea group at 5 before you get to tech level 7. So I tend to think of these first 3 as a kind of group, and I really like, unless I'm having a great game in terms of power, I like to take 1 from administrative, 1 from diplomatic, 1 from military. You cannot take, if you have more than 50% of the current ideas you've picked in any of these categories, you cannot take another one from that category. So I can't start with 2 military ideas or 2 diplomatic ideas or 2 administrative ideas, but I could take, say, administrative for the core creation cost, then take a diplomatic idea like, say, exploration. I could then take a second diplomatic or a second administrative idea in my third group, but I typically like to take 1 of each. That unlocks the most policies as well, because your policies come from that idea with any of the other group's ideas. So there's 12 policies per thing. So that's kind of what I do. And typically speaking, unless I know I'm going to get a lot of administrative power and not be spending it coring a bunch of stuff, I'll take administrative last, unless it's really the idea I need in that exact moment in time. So usually I will take a diplomatic idea and then a military idea in the first 2, and then an administrative idea in the third, unless, like when I was playing Bohemia, I know, okay, I'm going to be developing and I need to develop very quickly, so I'm going to take innovative immediately. It's just something to think about. You get the feel of it more as you play. And so we have these going here. I'm going to go through and just kind of give some of my thoughts about when to take ideas and what to take. So innovative, I've already talked about. You're going to play tall to take innovative. And that's mainly an idea cost here. So for all future ideas, 5% off, that's good. But this is the big one, right? Technology cost goes down, and institution embracement cost in terms of ducats, that goes down by 10%. Really, really big. Institution spread goes out. This is all about saving you power in the future, and that advisor cost goes down. This is all about getting more power and saving more power, spending less. Religious ideas, typically speaking, and the general idea is that religious and humanist are kind of different ideas at tackling the same problem, and that's religious unity. So religious, if you have humanist, you get this plus 25% religious unity, and national unrest goes down -2. You're not going to be converting everybody under the sun. You're going to be living with them. That's the basic idea. Tolerance of heretics, tolerance of heathens. This is just about living with them. It reduces the unrest that not being the right religion has. That is one way to do that, and it also very, very good idea group because it has years of separatism of a -10. The flip side is to just convert everybody. It doesn't matter what your tolerance of heretics and your tolerance of heathens are. or your religious unity is if everyone's the right religion anyway. And that's religious ideas. You can see you get a couple of missionaries. You should get a couple. Maybe you have to do some policies to get more. But you get one more missionary. You get missionary strength, so that you take less time to convert the province. You get this big one, which is missionary maintenance costs minus 50%. It costs half as much to convert a province, and you're going faster at it anyway. Also, you can get some prestige, some tolerance of the truth faith, stability, higher stability, lower or increases your missionary strength as well. This is all about converting them. And then religious ideas also gets Deus Vult, which is a very, very, very good casus belli against any neighbor of a different religion. Very, very big and very, very good idea group here. Economic ideas is not one I take often. It has its place. Typically, its place is like if you're in a place that has a very, very bad trade node and it's going to be difficult to conquer into something that has a better trade node, focusing on taxes might help. I don't typically take economic that much, but it can help a little bit. You know, land maintenance modifiers there, production efficiency, it can help a little bit. Expansion ideas is a colonial idea or a massive amount of blobbing idea group. You do get 2 colonists out of this. You only get 1 colonist with exploration ideas. So taking exploration expansion is a really good start for anyone who's trying to colonize. But expansion does help with pretty much anybody. You can take another vassal for diplomatic relations. You get another merchant. So as you expand, you can help your trade out in that way. And importantly, you get number of states. And a big kicker here, you can fabricate a claim in overseas trade company regions. Normally, you can only fabricate a claim in one of your in a province that is right next to you. With expansion ideas, you can fabricate a claim in anywhere that is a trade company. So that's India and Asia, or the sub-Saharan Africa coastline, if you are not on that continent. And in 1.30, I think every trade node will be a trade company, and you can establish trade companies anywhere that's not your capital's continent. So that'll be a massive change and a big change and a cool change. So that could make this really, really powerful. Any trade company that is not on your continent, you can fabricate a claim on any province in it. Exploration ideas, by the way, does that for colonial reasons. So that's North America, South America, and Australia. Administrative ideas is a really, really good idea group. Again, mercenary cost, core creation cost, mercenary maintenance, interest, available mercenaries, and administrative technology cost, and again, number of states. If you're taking administrative ideas, you're doing it for 2 reasons. Number 1, you're taking it for core creation cost. And number 2, you're doing it for a policy with innovative ideas, or influence ideas, excuse me. That is, let's see, where is that on the list? Up at the top, the second one down, Vassal Integration Act. It lowers the diplomatic annexation costs by 20%, which is huge. So for administrative ideas, for the most part, I'm going to take either religious or humanist, and then I'm going to take probably one other, either administrative or expansion. If I'm really not needing any of the other idea groups, I might take both of those. But for the most part, I'm going to spend 2 of my 8 idea groups in administrative ideas. I'm going to take religious or humanist based on whether I want to bother with converting them or not, and then administrative or expansion based on whether I'm going colonial or not. Diplomatic ideas, we have espionage. Espionage is considered to be pretty low. There are a lot of players that consider espionage in the same category as maritime and naval. I think it's in the same category as like economic. It has its place. It has some benefits. It lowers advisor costs. It gives you another diplomat. Diplomats are valued by the community. I think they're really, really important. And most importantly, for espionage ideas, is aggressive expansion impact. So you can conquer more territory without making people angry. Also, that's nice. You can fabricate a claim for a subject. That's really, really nice. And then the yearly corruption as well of minus 0.10 as you grow. That's really, really big. They have some pretty good policies as well in here. Diplomatic ideas, I think, is a must-take for virtually any campaign. You get 2 diplomats. You get diplomatic relations. You get diplomatic reputation. Really, really, really good. Province war score cost of minus 20% is crazy good. And then diplomatic technology costs less the whole rest of the game. And you get lower impact on stability from diplomatic actions. So if I want to declare a no-CB war... I have to wait till December 11th. I'm not going to worry about that. If I want to declare a no-CB war, right now it costs me 5 stability, I think. With this, it's down to 2. If I want to break a royal marriage, it costs me a stability. With this, it costs me nothing. Nothing but like 1 prestige. This is the best idea group in the entire game, in my opinion. Must take virtually every campaign. Trade ideas, I think, is in the same category as economic and espionage. It's got some good things, certainly. And if you're an economy that's built purely on trade, it's worth a look. But I think there are better diplomatic ideas that can be taken. Global trade power, merchants. You get a couple of merchants in trade. You get trade steering. You get caravan power. Actually get 3 merchants in trade. It has its place. It's good. But I think there are better idea groups to take. But it does help with trade. Exploration, if you're going colonial, this is a must-have. It lets you explore. You can recruit explorers and conquistadors. We'll talk more about that in our colonialization video. You get a colonist. You can colonize further away. You get more settlers. You get better tariffs with your colonies, pay you more in taxes. You get settler chance, so more settlers again. And then, importantly, you get that naval force limit modifier, which is nice if you have to field a navy that's needing to guard the entire world, the entire Atlantic Ocean, instead of just, say, the Mediterranean Sea or something. You also, again, can fabricate a claim in overseas colonial regions. Very, very good for colonial nations. Maritime is really bad. We already went over that. The only thing you really would do that for is the naval force limit, but that's not really that important. And then influence is another really, really good idea group if you're taking vassals. Personally, I like to take vassals. There are a lot of people who don't. But if you're taking vassals, this is a must-take. If you're not taking vassals, it's only a really good idea to take. You get more income from your vassals. You get liberty desire, less liberty desire in your vassals, so you can make them bigger and therefore give you more income. You cost less to annex your vassals if you pair that with administrative ideas. That is 20 from administrative ideas, 25 here. That's 45% less to take it. To take your vassal. Really, really big stuff. Get another relation, 2 diplomatic reputation. Really, really good stuff. And then vassal force limit contribution. So if you have a bunch of vassals and you have influence ideas, it's essentially quantity, right? Because 100% force limit contribution from vassals, and then unjustified demands cost you that much less. Diplomatic power as well costs you half diplomatic power. Really, really, really good idea group. So for diplomatic, I also like to take 2, maybe 3 ideas from this batch. They are diplomatic, usually influence, and exploration if I'm going colonial, and that's it. Lastly is military ideas, and this is where you're going to spend a lot of your ideas. Aristocratic is a okay idea group, kind of in that B tier with espionage and trade and economic. It is really, really good for nations that have a cavalry idea. Now, Ottomans, typically, they have some other stuff that I would want to do for it, but Poland usually takes aristocratic ideas. If you're a horde they'll take aristocratic ideas. That's a really good thing to do. But basically, this is cavalry. That's what you're going to be focusing on more than anything else. There's a few nice things. This is where the military technology cost is. But for the most part, these are things you can get elsewhere. And you don't need to take aristocratic ideas unless you're really focusing heavy on cavalry. Offensive ideas is a really, really powerful group. You have offensive ideas give you bonuses to your generals. I think it's all of them. No. You get Land Leader Shock and Land Leader Fire, so that is a guaranteed shock and fire pip on your general. Every time you roll, guaranteed. You get your 6 to 16 or whatever rolls. Let's see what it would be right now for Ottomans in 1444. It would be between 3 and 8. Whatever I get, let's go ahead and roll that. I got a 4. 2, 2. If I had full offensive ideas, that would be 3, 3. So that's a really, really nice feature to it. Also, you have siege ability, so you siege the forts faster than they do. Faster person to siege the forts usually wins the war. You also get discipline, morale recovery, which is really nice, and a force limit contribution of 20%. Defensive ideas is nice for offense, as well as some defense. This would be yearly army tradition. Army tradition is what determines how many pips you get there. Right now I have very low tradition, so that's why I only had 3 to 18. If you had high tradition, you can get really, really good generals. One way to get good tradition, take defensive ideas. It goes up even more. The other way would be to have a lot of forts and win a lot of battles. The main thing of defensive ideas is morale of armies, plus 15%. Really, really, really big thing to do. Pretty much in a multiplayer game, defensive ideas is the first idea taken by everyone just for morale of armies. You have Land Leader Maneuver is here. So same general thing as this fire. This would be a guaranteed maneuver pip. Land Maintenance, just a little bit down. And then we have the defensive part of it. Fort Maintenance is down. That's really helpful, especially as you get in late game. Reinforcing goes faster. You take less attrition, and the enemy takes more attrition for coming in to your lands. Quality is nice as well. Here you have infantry combat ability, you have cavalry combat ability, you have artillery combat ability, so all your troops do better, they're of higher quality. You also have ship durability, morale of navies, and naval attrition, so your navy does better. It's not really that big, it's kind of wasted stuff here, but it is what it is. You also can get discipline from quality, so again, your troops are better. And then also you get that yearly army tradition as well here with quality ideas. Really, really nice. Quantity ideas are all about fielding a whole bunch of troops. So you have more manpower. It recovers faster. The regiments cost less to build. They cost less to maintain. They have... you can stand more on a province. Your garrisons, your forts are bigger and so therefore harder to assault. I don't ever assault forts, so that's not a really thing that matters to me, but it's there. And then you take less attrition as well there because you're fielding larger armies. That's really important to take less attrition, right? And then the land force limit modifier of 50%. I try to take... I don't play very late. I don't usually get to level 26 or 29. I will take at least 2. If I get to that 7th idea, I would like to take 3 military ideas. For the most part, naval is trash. Don't take naval. For the most part, I'm going to focus on these 4 unless I'm playing a Poland or a Horde, in which case Aristocratic is the first idea group I'm taking. But otherwise, I'm going to take 3 of these 4. Offensive, defensive, quality, and quantity, if I can. Definitely I'll take 2 of them. Usually speaking, I will pair up these things that improve things. So I will pair up defensive with quality if I'm trying to basically just have better units, and then I will pair up quantity with offensive if I'm trying to have more units, right? Land force limit, it makes sense to pair those things up, right? But typically speaking, if I can get offensive, defensive, and quality, I don't need more troops. These guys with that much discipline, that much morale, with all those general pips, these three will make laughing stocks of almost anybody's army. So I don't need the extra amount. But that is the typical thing there that you want to do. You're going to be looking at all of these. You kind of want to be thinking ahead. What am I going to take next? What am I going to take next? Typically speaking, I will try and think, okay, what one of these do I need? What idea do I need? Where am I struggling? Are my troops struggling to beat other nations? Okay, then I need to improve their quality with defensive or quality ideas, right? Am I running out of troops? I might want to take offensive or quantity at that point just to get more troops, right? Am I out of diplomats? 3 diplomats is not enough for me. I'm going to take that diplomatic ideas, try and get those 2 extra diplomats, right? I'm going to look at what ideas are good, and then I will look for policies in order to break ties. So if I'm trying to figure out, do I want to get that extra diplomat or do I want more troops? If the diplomatic idea policies with an idea I already took are better than quantity or more desirable in that moment, then I might take diplomatic or vice versa. That's typically how I decide things, is that I will look for something that will help in these 7 things in the kicker. And then if I'm tied and kind of hemming and hawing between one or the other, then I'll look at policies that I might want to get as a tiebreaker. So that is a crash course on ideas. Again, this is something that you just get a feel for as you move along. I've been Thic Borders Gaming, and I hope you have enjoyed. On your left is YouTube's suggested video. On your right is the tutorial playlist. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you next time.